par mois. En fait, on les paye par mètre de réseau installé.
Let's find out.
All right.
We are from Suez.
Oh, these are from Suez. Ah, that's interesting. At first, when these private companies went into developing countries, they were welcomed by the people because they were going to bring water and they were going to bring investments. Of course, what people didn't understand was that they're not bringing new investments. It's paid for by the public purse and by the World Bank. Then they came in and they raised prices and they didn't deliver good quality water and they cut poor people off and they fired public servants and their record was a disaster.
They are bringing water to poor areas, but they're bringing the water where you have to put in a little card to get that water.
This country is perhaps the leaders in a new technology, prepayment water metering.
Yeah, actually, this is the book that we got that is showing people how to use the prepaid meter. But the fact is that this book is written in English, and then half of this community, they don't understand English.
The consumer needs to pay upfront for the supply of water.
You have to have this token to pay for water. If I want to have water, I have to put my bucket here. You see? That's how I get water.
You've actually got to change the thinking, the culture of people to understand that they should pay. You shouldn't have to force them to pay. They should want to pay.
By telling a woman who's got nothing, in order to get your water, you must put in a card that takes your meager amount of money. What is she going to do but go to the river and take that dirty water and die of cholera? And then you say people don't know how to practice hygiene.
The people here don't know. We just asked them. They don't know that they're getting prepaid water meters.
with what you have done with
No, they don't have a choice. These people are poor. They don't have a choice. They're not being educated about the implications of the whole process.
They don't even know they're having
Because we don't give them a
It's impossible
choice.
to discuss this. It's impossible. You're insulting
because
me.
you're always
So we are
worried.
going. People are to pay regarding what they consume.
When you know that, you're
How can you tell?
The placards of the post-liberation period said, free water, free electricity, houses for all. What was actually happening was that many people were having their electricity disconnected, their water disconnected, and they've been evicted from these very homes that the government said they were in improved conditions of. People then started saying, we will reconnect illegally, but we will reconnect openly. There are whole townships that are reconnecting people's water.
There are women plumbers here. We learn the job from the men because when the men are not here, we are the ladies who reconnect the water and reconnect the lights.
The water has been stopped and we just battle and, try and get water from, from containers and things like that.
They talk about water in school and water is precious. Very precious.
And water is so important, We really need to use water all the time. So we don't know.
When you hear people saying the water for the people, we have no problem. Water should not be a commodity, we have no problem. We are just the operator, like an hotel operator, who operate the system because we have a very long-term experience. We sell our knowledge.
We have a know-how, we have the technology. We know how to organize very big networks, bringing water to the homes. Today, more than 30,000 people are dying every day from water disease. The ideal objective would be to bring clean water to everyone.
C'est des sociétés qui ont été créées il y a 150 ans, par des banquiers. C'est ça qui est important de savoir. C'est pas des sociétés philanthropiques, ces multinationales. Donc, le message aussi altermondialiste de ces multinationales est un langage vraiment scandaleux, parce que quand ils disent « c'est nous qui allons régler la misère du monde en matière d'accessibilité à l'eau », mais comment des actionnaires de Veolia peuvent attendre quelques 10 ou 15 ans pour qu'on amène de l'eau à des gens qui ne peuvent pas la payer? Ça ne les intéresse pas.
You cannot deliver the same amount of good quality water or healthcare or education or anything else to a population that needs it if you're also providing profit for your investors. It's just basic common sense.
People have the view that water is provided free from the heavens, from God. So why must you pay for water? But if you're going to receive water in a sustained way through pipes and taps, that there's a lot of money that has to go into that provision.
We are quite sympathetic to the fact that you have to run this city and you need money. But are you going to try and get this money out of people who cannot pay you at all?
One of the UN resolutions, the Millennium Goals, they want to reduce the number of people, the percentage of people without access to drinking water by half by the year 2015. But if you continue to provide drinking water using conventional methods, using centralized treated water piped to various locations, the cost becomes unaffordable because most of these rural people live in small settlements dispersed widely. So one must think of ways to do it outside the box, as the saying goes. Almost everybody in India has an experience with biologically contaminated water. In my case, I lost 5 of my cousins to diarrheal disease while I was growing up. I was just a child. It's only when I grew up and I had my own children that I had some appreciation of what a disaster it must have been for my aunts and uncles. The fact that ultraviolet light kills pathogens or bacteria in water has been known since 1920s. I came up with the idea to disinfect water with UV light in a way that is affordable because nobody else was doing it. It's something that should have been done and could have been done by many, many people much, much earlier, but it just wasn't. In this state of Andhra Pradesh, last year, 70,000 people died from dirty drinking water, despite official claims that, it's available within, 2 kilometers of walking distance. Tens of thousands of people in every state of India lose their lives to dirty drinking water.
ఈ వాటర్ హెల్త్ రాకముందు మేము ఈ బావిలో నీళ్లు చెరువులో నీళ్లు తీసుకొని తాగేవాళ్ళము. అవి త్రాగినప్పుడు మాకు చాలా డిసీజ్ కలరా అవి ఇవన్నీ వచ్చాయి.
The daily operation of the system can be taken care of by the local community. The price at which they buy the water from themselves provides enough revenue to employ the person who actually maintains the system, who's a local person. So it becomes a financially viable, self-sustaining model of how a community can pay for safe drinking water for people who have never had safe drinking water in their whole life.
ఈ రాకముందు చాలా ఇది చేసాం. తర్వాత ఇప్పుడు మేము ఇంటికి ఉత్తరాలు ఇస్తాకి వెళ్తాం కదా, ప్రతి ఒక్కరు అప్పటికంటే ఈ వాటర్ తాగి నాకు హెల్త్ బాగుంటుంది.
రిజల్ట్ వచ్చేసరికి ఇలా ఆటోమేటిక్గా మనుషులకు ఉపయోగపడి మనుషులు అంత ఆరోగ్యకరంగా ఉన్నప్పుడు మనకంటే ఇంకా తక్కువ జీవరాశులు తక్కువ బ్రాండ్లు అప్పుడు నూతు వాటర్ వాడి మెడిసిన్స్ వాడి ఆ మెడిసిన్స్ వాడినా మనకి పక్కప్పుడు ఒక్కొక్క కోడికి వచ్చి ₹2 మెడిసిన్స్ వాడాల్సి వచ్చింది. ఈ వాటర్ వల్ల వచ్చే డిసీజులు రాకుండా ఉండయి అని చెప్పి మనకి పక్క.
The cost per person per year for having 10 liters of safe drinking water every day is just $2 per person per year. Even for people who make less than $1 a day, they can afford $2 per year. The number of people who actually benefit every day from this technology is about 300,000. in proportion to the number of people who need it is really minuscule. We have a huge amount of distance to go. Historically, most of the funding provided by aid institutions has gone to poor countries but provided water only to the politically powerful and economically powerful sectors in those countries. Once they get their safe drinking water, their passion for providing safe drinking water for the rest of the country declines substantially. Essentially is that they have got what they wanted and the rest can live in slums and drink the water that they can get.